voting for the theme taking place earlier this month. However, prom is also very expensive to fund, and our class officers have been doing a wonderful job preparing to make the event as best as it can be. They held an ice skating night for the EWRSD community at the Mercer County Park rink, which took place tonight beginning at 6 p.m. Another event that has been the result of much excitement in the school is the Student versus Staff Volleyball Tournament taking place March 5th. Students can pay to enter a team and compete for the chance to play against the staff team. We applaud the class officers and advisors for their preemptive planning and are certain that prom will be a success in June.
As we mentioned in our last meeting, the HHS Student Council organized an orientation for the incoming freshman class. We are happy to say that it went smoothly, and our rising freshmen had an amazing day filled with activities led by our school's ambassadors and PGC students. We are excited to see how they take on their new role at HHS.
A problem that many of our seniors are facing is decision day being pushed back. In case you are unaware, there were difficulties with FAFSA being opened very late this year, being released to students on January 1st as opposed to the usual October 1st. Due to this and a few lingering problems with the form, colleges are extremely delayed in receiving our financial data. Many colleges have already pushed back their enrollment deadline from May 1st to later, which in turn is delaying our decision day activities. Some colleges, such as Penn State and the University of Maryland, have pushed their date to May 15th, while others, such as Rutgers, have moved their deadline to June 1st. Our counselors and administration are continuing to support us during this uncertain time, and we will keep you all updated on how everything turns out.
In regards to the suggestion box, we received a suggestion regarding adding a Spanish portion to the graduation ceremony, such as a speech or another similar accommodation for Spanish-speaking families. While we have not come to a final decision with administration yet, we are working towards a plan and hope to see that implemented on the day of graduation. That concludes our report for tonight. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. That was very informative. I'm also very curious if for the volleyball game, if the high school administrator teacher team has been picked, because that could maybe get more people to sign up. Does anybody have any questions? Then we will move on to our 2023 Governor's Educator of the Year Award.
So I say good evening. I'm Mark Daniels, a very proud superintendent of the East Windsor Regional School District. It's always an honor and pleasure when we have the opportunity to celebrate and really kind of cheer on the amazing educators that we have in our school district. So each year across the state of New Jersey, school districts are encouraged, they don't have to, but they're encouraged to participate in the Governor's Educator of the Year recognition program. The way that it works is obviously we're looking to highlight, bring to the surface, and make sure that we rightly acknowledge, those individuals who go above and beyond in their craft to meet the needs of their students, but also to support their peers and colleagues, and also families. The way that the recognition's been designed in recent years, school districts are to select a teacher and an educational support person as well for the recognition. So very pleased tonight in terms of having the opportunity to have you all here to celebrate these individuals. The process is typically individuals have an opportunity to nominate folks who they think should be considered. At each school, there is a panel that's put together. That panel, their responsibility is to review the individuals that have been put forth, determine the criteria, and their level of worthiness, I guess you could say, in terms of being recognized. So it's a pretty painstaking process, and from that we identify individuals who are then put forth. We then also put those individuals forth into the system at the Department of Education. Those individuals are also eligible if they so want to pursue county recognition, which is actually coming up shortly. So that process I just talked about concluded at the beginning of December. Obviously, we celebrated those folks at the building level. Tonight, serves as kind of that district Board of Education recognition, just to put some icing on top. So some of our folks tonight are looking to move forward to be considered for that county recognition, and I'm definitely rooting for them. So the way this is going to work is I'm going to get out of the way. I'm going to call principals up here to the podium. Principals are going to read a testimonial, kind of highlighting what this individual brings to the table. We're going to provide them with a small plaque in celebration of their service, and we're going to ask them to step aside. Do we need them to sit down, Elise, or are they going to stand to the side for a picture when it's over? You're right here? Okay, all right. So what we'll do is once you get your award, we'll have you move over here, and then we'll gather folks at the conclusion of this recognition for a brief picture. I have the Board of Education President, Nicole, here with me, who will be handing out our plaques to our worthy recipients. So with that said, I'm going to call to the podium the principal of Ethel McKnight School, Nicole Foltz. Should be at the top there.
Okay, I would like to call up Mrs. Kelly Sasinski. It is my honor to recognize Mrs. Kelly Sasinski as EMK's Governor's Educator of the Year. Mrs. Sasinski is an exceptional educator whose dedication, passion, and commitment have truly made an impact on our school community. One of Kelly's most outstanding qualities is her readiness to assist her colleagues. In her role as technology teacher, she often serves as the first line of defense for technology issues. She works proactively to address any issues to help prevent disruptions in the teaching and learning process. Her adaptability and professionalism shine through with her willingness to step up when classes need to be covered. Her eagerness to help when necessary speaks volumes about her dedication to the success to our school. While the previously mentioned qualities demonstrate that she's an extraordinary educator, perhaps the heart of Kelly's excellence lies within her classroom. Kelly strives to meet the needs of all her students. Her dedication to learning how to speak Spanish on her own demonstrates a commitment to be able to effectively communicate with her bilingual students. She also works hard to adapt her learning environment and lessons for students with special needs. Her students are always excited to come to her class, which is a reflection of her nurturing, supportive, and engaging teaching style. Mrs. Sasinski is an invaluable member of the EMK teaching staff. We are fortunate to have such a talented and dedicated educator working with our students. She is truly deserving of this recognition. Congratulations on this outstanding achievement.
Before you go, I just want to interrupt. I would be remiss if I did not mention, first of all, congratulations, Kelly. But I forgot to share that in addition to the plaque from the district, the respective associations are also providing a gift tonight as well. So I'm going to make sure EWEA and ERSA are here to do that. So I just wanted to make sure I didn't leave that out. All right.
Can I go? I'd also like to invite up Kate Murphy. It is my honor to recognize the exceptional contributions of Kate Murphy, EMK's Educational Services Professional of the Year. Kate is a dedicated professional who goes above and beyond for students and staff. In her time at EMK, Kate has had a positive impact on our school community. As an EA, Kate is assigned to work with specific students. However, her commitment to our students extends far beyond this, as she readily lends her expertise to assist others and actively seeks opportunities to enhance the learning environment for everyone. Her proficiency in working with students of all ability levels is evident in her interactions with those in our special needs program, highlighting her inclusive and compassionate approach to education. One of Kate's most outstanding qualities is her ability to connect with our students. She knows each and every one of their names and has built a strong rapport with them, creating an atmosphere where students feel comfortable seeking her guidance and support. Whether it's in the classroom or the lunchroom, her presence brings joy and comfort to our students, making her a true asset to our school. As an EA, Kate has touched many lives of students. We are fortunate to have such a dedicated, caring, and inclusive educator at our school. Congratulations on this achievement. For you.
Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. Okay, congratulations. At this time, I'd like to call to the podium Principal of Walter C. Black School, Mrs. Heather Gladkowski.
I'd like to call up Erin Hallett, our Teacher of the Year. Erin Hallett is the music teacher at the Walter C. Black School. She is truly an outstanding educator. Her classes are dynamic and captivating. Erin skillfully incorporates music and dance from diverse backgrounds into her lessons, reflecting the demographics of our school community. Last year, Erin orchestrated grade-level performances featured dances from around the world outside on our playground. The performances were recorded using a drone and iPads. She then used the footage collected to create a music video to share with our entire school community. It was really quite outstanding. Erin is committed to sustainability. She secured a $5,000 grant from PepsiCo to promote recycling efforts at our school. She has created instructional videos and initiatives like Dale's Water Bottle Challenge, recognizing and rewarding students for their environmental efforts. Mrs. Hallett's impact goes beyond the walls of her classroom, and the Walter C. Black School is a better place because of her. Congratulations, Erin.
Do I give her something?
The other person's not coming, right? Okay. Thank you. Congratulations. Okay, moving right along. I'd like to call to the podium the assistant principal from Perio Drew School, Ms. Tracy Perez. Come on up.
Good evening. Ms. Mladnez was selected as the Educator of the Year for the Perry L. Drew School. Congratulations. Ms. Mladnez was selected as the Perry L. Drew Educator of the Year. Ms. Mladnez is a 4th grade teacher at Drew and has been teaching in the East Windsor School District since 2016. In the nomination letters from parents and colleagues, the following qualities were noted. She is extremely kind and caring. She cares about the students' learning and growing academically. She provided my son with positive reinforcement, which helped him succeed. She responds to parents in a timely manner. She cares about teaching. She is a true professional. She connects with her students on a personal level. Her students thrive and grow throughout the school year. She is an extremely dedicated educator. These are just some of the positive qualities she brings to the classroom and to the Perry L. Drew School. Ms. Mladnez is well respected by the students, parents, and colleagues. During her evaluations and her interactions in the building, she is a dedicated and nurturing professional who will do anything to help her students succeed. Being selected Educator of the Year is well deserved, and it is my honor to recognize her tonight. Renee Flagger. Oops, sorry. Ms. Flagger was selected as the Perry L. Drew Educator of the Year. Ms. Flagger is an educational assistant working in a 3rd grade classroom at Drew. In the nomination letters from students, parents, and colleagues, the following qualities were noted. She is very positive. She is attentive to her students and listens to us. She makes class fun, and she is always kind and caring. These are just some of the positive qualities she brings to the classroom and to the school. Ms. Flagger is well respected by the students, parents, and colleagues. She is always smiling and willing to help whenever. She is dedicated and caring and will do anything to help her students succeed. Perry L. Drew is lucky to have such a dedicated professional working with our students. Being selected Educator of the Year is well deserved, and it is my honor to recognize her tonight.
Don't go.
Oh, gosh.
there.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to call to the podium the principal of Grace M. Rogers School, Ms. Lori Emerson.
Lauren LoBue, please come on up. Lauren is our Governor's Educator of the Year. Lauren LoBue is an exceptional educator whose unwavering dedication, passion, and tireless advocacy for the ESL students she teaches is admirable. Lauren is always learning and applying new knowledge to her practice. She prepares authentic learning experiences to ensure that her students are not only learning English and receiving curricular support, but also gaining knowledge in American culture. Mrs. LoBue's commitment to her students extends beyond classroom instruction. She possesses a remarkable ability to connect with students and families from various cultural backgrounds by fostering an inclusive and supportive learning environment where every voice is valued and heard. Her innovative teaching methods, genuine empathy, and belief in the potential of every individual has transformed the lives of countless GNR students, empowering them to embrace their unique identities and achieve academic success. Mrs. LoBue also generously shares her knowledge and materials with any teacher who may be in need. On several occasions, she has provided valuable professional development on how to support ESL students in a non-ESL classroom setting. She frequently provides examples, materials, and resources to staff and is always available to brainstorm with any teacher. For those reasons and so many more, I am proud to recognize Lauren LoBue as GNR's Governor's Educator of the Year. Congratulations, Mrs. LoBue, on this well-deserved honor, and thank you for your unwavering commitment to excellence to the students of the East Windsor Regional School District. Next, I'd like to invite Diana Torres, who is our Educational Services Professional. Diana Torres is an extraordinary school psychologist whose dedication and compassion for supporting our youngest learners is inspirational. She is in the pre-K program. I'm sorry, I lost my place. Diana's unwavering commitment to our students, their families, and the preschool program has ensured that hundreds of students are provided with the education and support services that they need to thrive in school and in life. Diana's impact extends far beyond our school. Her genuine care and expertise has provided invaluable support to our students, families, and staff alike. Through her thoughtful guidance during child study team meetings, she helps families navigate the new and often overwhelming process of getting an individualized education plan for their child. Her knowledge and her patience, along with her ability to address their questions and concerns, puts families at ease. Mrs. Torres is also a support for her colleagues on the child study team and the teachers in the preschool program. If she's not in her office, it is likely you'll find her in a classroom working with students or supporting a teacher who has asked for her help. She is available during arrival and dismissal to help get students on and off the bus and can be found playing with students during playtime. Her colleagues value her expertise, and she often mentors new team members or provides ideas and solutions to issues that arise in preschool. Not only does Diana serve as a support to the children, but she often makes time beyond her contractual duties to support parents. Diana's dedication to fostering student growth and well-being in our preschool community serves as a testament to her unwavering commitment to helping our youngest learners thrive. Congratulations, Diane, on this well-deserved recognition, and thank you for your tireless efforts in shaping the foundation of our children's future.
Okay, now to represent Melvin H. Krebs Middle School, I'd like to call to the podium Mrs. Samantha Felicetta, principal.
Good evening. I'd like to take a moment just to congratulate everyone on these wonderful recognitions tonight. Can I please have Alba Alvarez come join me? Mrs. Alba Alvarez is the MHK, is the Melvin H. Krebs Middle School Specialist of the Year. She embodies all the characteristics of an outstanding staff member. Alba works closely with some of our most struggling students as a dedicated member of the MHK staff in her role as an educational assistant. She supports students to ensure they are getting the modifications and accommodations they need to be successful in their classes. In addition, she is a team player and loves children. She can often be found translating for Spanish-speaking students to ensure their understanding of directions. Currently, she is a one-to-one support for a student, and she goes out of her way to make sure that student feels comfortable and is cared for. And it is a pleasure to watch the interactions between Ms. Alvarez and her student. They have a beautiful and very special bond. Further, Alba has the respect of all of the students she comes in contact, as well as the staff within the building. As nominations for Specialist of the Year started coming in, I was happy when I saw one for Alba, knowing how hard she works. However, she didn't just receive one nomination. Alba received 3 nominations. It is a true testament to a woman that cares so very much about the students of MHK. She is very deserving of this honor. Congratulations, Alba. Melvin H. Krebs Middle School is lucky to have you supporting our students.
And last but not least, representing Heightstown High School, we have Principal Mr. Dennis Vinson.
At this time, I'd like to call up Vanessa Rosa. Vanessa Rosa has been serving as a special education teacher at Heightstown High School since February of 2018. Her honesty, reliability, resourcefulness have set her apart as an exceptional educator. Approaching each day with a smile on her face, adapting to the ever-changing nature of being a special ed teacher, she pushes everyone to be a better version of themselves. From having a lively classroom, a strong student engagement, Vanessa's genuinely worked to push students towards achieving their highest potential. Vanessa's tough but fair love comes back in meaningful feedback, and some of her students refer to her as their school mom. One of her students even said that she should get a Grammy for teaching. Spreading positivity and motivation amongst her students, she engages them to be the best version of themselves. Vanessa possesses excellent interpersonal and communication skills, effectively collaborates with her co-teachers and students, fostering a strong relationship that contributes to a positive school culture. She uses her vast content knowledge and understanding of the curriculum to help create meaningful plans with her materials. Vanessa is extremely generous with her time, knowledge, and resources, be it for the students and her colleagues. Her passion for education, coupled with her unwavering commitment to student success, makes her a valuable and respected member of the HHS community. Vanessa, congratulations. Heightstown High School is extremely proud of your accomplishments. Elizabeth Bosch Lara. Elizabeth has shown unwavering support and unconditional love for students at Heightstown High School ever since she started as an educational assistant in the year 2018. She goes above and beyond by creating that space of trust and encouragement for not just the students that she works with, but those that comes into contact in a close relationship outside of her classroom. Her genuine interest in their well-being and personal success is unsurpassed. Her ability to listen, empathize, and provide guidance creates a safe space for students to express themselves to her. Truly committed to creating a positive culture in the Hightstown High School community, Elizabeth is always willing to translate and communicate with our Spanish-speaking population as well, which is truly commendable. Her welcoming nature, her approachability, makes her not only an effective educational assistant, but also a valued member of our school community. She exemplifies a strong desire for professional growth and is constantly seeking out opportunities to improve her classroom environment and enhance the lives of our students. Elizabeth is a vital member of our school community who has been able to build a cohesive relationship with staff and students. Congratulations to Elizabeth on this well-deserved recognition.
Okay, well, I think we need to give our recipients a warm round of applause. Let's give it up. So just in closing, I will just once again on behalf of the Board of Education just thank our recipients tonight for their hard work and dedication. They serve as a small sample size of the amazing things that happen in the school district by many committed adults. I wish we could, do this more often. We probably should in different ways. So I always like to think and acknowledge at this point that the most valuable resource in any organization is the human resource, right? And we can't do this without the people. So I need to thank you for the work that you do on behalf of our students. Without you, we can't do this. So I really deeply thank you from the bottom of my heart. I realize you could be doing this somewhere else, and we need you to be here doing that amazing work. So I do not take that for granted. So continue to do the amazing things you do to support your colleagues and our families, and most importantly, our students. So congratulations again. Couple of things here. So we're going to call you up shortly for a quick picture. I do want to just thank our principals and assistant principals tonight for their amazing words and presenting to our recipients. I also want to thank Dr. Zavillo, Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources, who wasn't able to be here tonight, and her department for kind of organizing this, as well as my administrative assistant, Luz Gonzalez, for kind of putting this together behind the scenes. So thank you to those folks. And with that, we'll transition to a brief picture here. All right. So thank you.
Okay, we're going to continue. We're going to move on to item 4, Superintendent's Report.
Okay. So good evening again. Just a couple of quick announcements this evening. I will start by just thanking our student representatives. I just commended them on their report, very detailed, very comprehensive, and I think it provides a pretty, how can I put it, a descriptive picture into kind of the life at the high school. So I definitely appreciate their contributions this year. I think they're setting quite the high bar for what student representatives should be bringing to the table. This week, somehow we scheduled a board meeting and also a strategic planning meeting. So I know there's some people here probably not quite appreciating that. No, they are. They're over there. But so tomorrow evening we have the first of 3 strategic planning meetings. They'll be right here in this very same place, starting at 6 p.m. Just to refresh everyone's memories, that is the process that we've engaged in this year to really determine where we're going, but to start with where we are. And I'm hopeful that the 3 sessions will serve as really the foundation for us to develop some board pillars, board goals, and some action steps that will kind of move the district into that next phase that I think we believe will be the best thing for our students. So first meeting tomorrow, Tuesday, February 27th at 6 p.m. Second meeting will be on March 14th. The third meeting will be on April 17th. In terms of just echoing a couple of things that our student representatives, and I don't want to be redundant, but I do think it's worth just making sure that I echo that. Obviously, our varsity cheer team, definitely want to commend them for their accomplishments. Our wrestling team, I think we acknowledged Coach Russo a few weeks ago. I don't always do this, but I wanted to just highlight one student. I think our student reps may have done it at a prior meeting, but I think we've had the MCT since then. So Max Peterson, this is just a kind of a swim recognition. Max was pretty impressive as it relates to his individual accomplishments. So he was Mercer County's most valuable swimmer this year. He won the MCT. He broke the MCT record in the 200 freestyle and 100 butterfly. He's competing in individual states at the 200 freestyle and 100 butterfly events. He also broke the following school records, which is rather amazing, I have to say. He broke the 200 freestyle, the 100 butterfly, the 100 backstroke, the 50 freestyle, the 100 freestyle, the 400 freestyle. And to kind of cap that all off, Max will be attending West Point on a scholarship to serve his country following high school. So definitely want to commend Max on his amazing athletic accomplishments. Just to give a quick plug to our varsity basketball team, our girls team. We mentioned this earlier tonight. They're playing right now as we speak in the gymnasium here at home. They're in the second round of the NJSIAA championship, state championships. And they're playing currently Old Bridge. I don't have an update on score, Mr. Vincent, do you, by any chance? We are up 2 at the half. Thank you very much. So wishing them success this evening. Just a quick refresher, I guess I would call it. As I mentioned before, the district is in its 3-year cycle of going through the NJQSAC self-monitoring process. I've talked about the 5 district performance review areas, which are instruction and program, fiscal, governance, operations, and personnel. The process really entails us providing front-loading, as it were, to the County Department of Education, a number of artifacts, evidence, documents that fulfill a particular criteria that's presented to us. That is then followed up with a site visit. Actually, we had a couple of site visits. We had our facility site visit. I think I mentioned that at the last board meeting. And then last week, February 21st, we had kind of like the site visit that focused on reviewing the areas and engaging in discussions and further review related to the documents that we provided. So the county team, led by the executive county superintendent, commended the school district in terms of its level of organization, in terms of providing detailed documents ahead of time, which diminishes the need for an extensive in-person meeting. However, it's still healthy to engage in a sense of how things are progressing. The meeting was framed around kind of an introduction in terms of a brief overview of the district's strengths and challenges, and then we engaged in kind of breaking out into respective groups to kind of review some additional documentation. So the way the process works, obviously, we want to be scored as high as possible in those areas. We did not get official scores that day. I was told that to be patient in terms of awaiting those. However, I was informed that based on the information that was presented thus far, they did not anticipate any concerns regarding the five DPR categories that I just talked about. So I would just, commend our district as a whole, because although that's more of a central administrative meeting, that meeting reflects the work and commitment of the broader team here within the school district. So I just want to make sure that I had an opportunity to thank all the individuals who contribute to that. A little reminder in terms of what's in store. I'm always in the mode of promoting the art. So in that vein, next month, March 21st, March 22nd, March 23rd, and March 24th, we'll have the high school musical, which is SpongeBob, the musical this year. So that should be interesting. Let me see. Is there anything else? Oh, yes. Tomorrow, this is budget season. We've been having some conversations regarding budget. If you recall, we talked a little bit about when the budget season started here in the district, late fall, early winter. We kind of find ourselves in the position where the governor will have his budget address tomorrow at 2 p.m. We are anticipating state aid that's comparable to what we've received in recent years. And if you recall, based on S2 legislation, which was trying to honor the funding formula for school districts, East Windsor Regional School District, 5 years ago, was underfunded, and had been underfunded going back 10 plus years. So in an effort to try to equalize that, the governor indicated that based on the calculation, districts that were historically underfunded, there would be a process to incrementally make up for those losses. Now, what occurred is that some districts ended up losing out, which is unfortunate. So it created this dynamic where districts like ours, who benefited but really were ultimately entitled to some payback, I guess you could call it. We've appreciated that, obviously, in terms of being able to fund our program and, engaging in conversations about how we can continue to build program, continue to upgrade facilities, and continue to support staff. So remaining optimistic that tomorrow our state aid should be comparable to, like I said, what we've received for the past 2 or 3 years. And if that is the case, that enables us to continue to move forward in a way that sustains a successful and effective program here in the district. I'm not sure which board meeting we're going to be doing our formal budget presentation. Is that?
I believe this will be the second one.
The second one in March?
Yes.
So I believe, we'll be presenting the proposed budget to the board, I believe at the second board meeting in March, but I'll confirm that in short order. And I believe that concludes my report this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Does anyone have any questions for Mark? Nope. So we will move on to first opportunity for board member comments. Are there any board members who have any comments? Yes.
Hi. No, I actually just wanted to mention when we talked about the arts that there was a musical festival, chorus festival, hosted by the high school, and it was amazing. Students from PLD, from Krebs, from GNR, and the high school came together, and it was a night of musical bliss. I was almost in tears. It was really nice. And to see how the students, it was so organized, and there was a lot of students, so it was well organized, and each school sang a song, and then they all came together and sang another song together, and it was like straight out of a movie. It was really beautiful. If you guys got a chance to see it, I think it might even be online if you guys ever have a chance to look at it. It was really nice. All right, that was all.
Any other board members?
I just wanted to say, again, to echo Mark's remarks. That sounded fine. Just congratulations to all of our athletes. Your hard work and perseverance pays off. Keep it up and keep having fun. And congratulations to all our Governor Educator of the Year Award recipients. We appreciate all you do for our students, and you should be very proud for your hard work and this accomplishment. That's it.
I just had one thing. Since we were talking about the second meeting in March possibly being the budget presentation, have we identified the March meeting where Ms. Small would give an updated presentation?
We had talked about it being the second one.
Okay.
So we can do 2 in 1. Our budget presentation is not exhaustive.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Anyone else? I would also like to second what Tina said. Congratulations to the wrestling team, the cheer team, the basketball team, and a special congratulations to all the Governor Educator of the Year recipients. If there's no more board comments, first opportunity for public comment. Is there anyone from the public who wishes to speak? No one? Then we will move on to the interviews for the Board of Ed vacancy seat. Sure. So for those that are not familiar, one of our existing board members, Bertrand Fournier, has resigned, so that leaves us an extra seat. This term will run through the end of the year. And then at the end of the year, if the person who fills the spot wishes, they can run for a 1 or 3 year term following the candidate package that you submit in July. So I believe we have 2 people who are going to interview for the spot.
Yes, we have 2 candidates for tonight. Until earlier today, we had 3, but one of the candidates dropped out. So tonight we have Mr. Bilal and Ms. Kalia, who will be interviewing for the board seats. Mr. Bilal, if you'd like to step up, please. Just to let everyone know, to summarize the procedure, we'll be interviewing tonight. We'll be conducting 2 interviews in public session. We'll go into executive session so the board can conference and discuss pros and the strengths of the various candidates. We'll come out of executive. The board will nominate and vote one of the candidates into the position. The position will be for the remainder of this fiscal year, so this will serve until the end of the 2024 year, which the candidate can, if they would like, can register and run for election. The next seat will be up for 2 years. And then after that, 2-year term, and then I'll go back to the normal 3-year term as everyone else's terms are. So that is the agenda for tonight.
Can I just also say that, hi, thank you so much. So we have a list of questions. The questions will be the same. All of the board members are going to ask a question, and they're exactly the same for both candidates. Jagru, do you want to start?
Thank you. Hi, I'm doing question 1. It is 2 parts, okay? First, tell us about yourself and why you are interested in becoming a school board member, part 1. And part 2, is there a particular issue that motivates you to serve on the Board of Education?
Sure. So, hi everyone. For starters, my name is Aditya Bala. I am a senior here at Hightstown High School. I've been at Hightstown High School for the past 4 years. I've been at the district for the past 12 years, and I've been a resident of East Windsor for the past 18 years. At Hightstown High School, I have taken a diverse array of courses, whether it be business electives, honors courses, and even AP courses. I've also immersed myself in the different offerings and opportunities that Hightstown has to offer, including being the class president for the past 4 years, being the president and then lieutenant governor for Key Club, and even founding the Best Buddies Club to facilitate and foster social and emotional learning and development for those with special needs. Outside of my clubs and activities, I also am involved in different athletic sports like cross country, track, and lacrosse. Now, through these experiences, I have witnessed firsthand the challenges that my peers and students face. And through these roles, I've been able to advocate for changes in my school community. And witnessing the positive impact that I was able to have on my peers and those around me has inspired me to run for a position on the board where I'm able to positively impact thousands of students and community members in our district as a whole. And answering your second part of the question on a part that I believe is important to me, mental wellness is something that I noticed was a huge issue in our youth when I first entered Hightstown High School, and it's been something that I've been advocating for the past 4 years. And it's something that I want to continue advocating for on my time on the district board. When I came into the high school, I worked with Ms. Howard to initiate a mental wellness suicide prevention campaign, and that has turned into an annual campaign. We also reestablished the Mental Wellness Day here at Hightstown, and then eventually turned that into a town-wide kindness initiative to advocate for a need that thousands of residents in our community have and to positively influence thousands of members in our community.
Thank you.
Hi, how are you tonight? So my question is, what is a school board member's role and responsibility, or how, like, what is your perception of that, and how does that role differ from that of the superintendent or other administration?
Sure. So I think the biggest role as being on the board is providing advice on policies that we are able to enact and change that will influence the thousands of students in this district. In comparison to administrators' roles or the superintendent himself, they're more so overseeing the day-to-day operations of our school, while we are providing more oversight and advice on how we can improve our community.
Agenda preparation and time for professional growth in the areas of board governance and K-12 education.
Sure. So in my previous leadership roles and activities that I've been involved in, time management has been a skill that I have learned over the past few years. These past few years, I've never been as busy as I was, so managing my time has been essential for me. I've learned to use calendars and communicate effectively between the different organizations that I'm involved with to ensure that I'm able to commit my time in both places and prioritize different aspects of my life. Being on this board would be a priority to me, so when I go off to college and in my school activities now, I would definitely put an emphasis on attending all board meetings as necessary and communicating with those that I'm working with and collaborating with to ensure that we are on the same page and able to work together.
Thank you. You kind of already answered this a little bit. If you just want to elaborate, I know that you did go into detail. Are there aspects of your education or experience that will especially be helpful in preparing you to serve as a member of the school board?
Sure. So I kind of talked about my experience here as a student, but outside of being involved at Hightstown High School specifically, I'm also super engaged civically outside of school. I've previously served as the intern for the office of Senator Cory Booker, Congressman Andy Kim, and currently serve on the New Jersey Legislative Youth Council, where I communicate the issues and challenges that thousands of our youth and residents face to advise on policy changes that will go on to impact millions in the state of New Jersey. Through these experiences serving the state, I've learned how to communicate the challenges that our constituents face and learn how we can use that and turn that into advice to create tangible change in our policies that will go on to affect those residents. Additionally, I am someone who has been involved in the system and I'm a product of the system, so I think that I will be able to provide a unique lens to the challenges that our district faces and how those will continue to impact our students in the future.
this is a two-parter as well. So the first question is, how would you, as a board member, work with the superintendent and other board members when there are differing opinions on needed actions? And the second part would be to give an example where you had to make a decision that wasn't well received by your colleagues, friends, neighbors, family, and how did you handle their feedback?
So I think one of the strongest parts about Hightstown High School is we are a school that has a very diverse community. Now this means that there are a lot of people that have different experiences and different opinions, which is extremely important when you consider making important decisions on the board. I think the biggest characteristic that I think is super strong for me is that I'm extremely open-minded, and I always listen to other people before I come to my own decision. I think serving on the board where we represent the thoughts of thousands of students and community members, we need to be open-minded and listen to the ideas that other people have, especially the people that I'm working with, in order to come to a well-informed decision. So when it comes to working with those on the board, if there are differences, I would listen to those and the ideas that they have, do my own research, and understand how we can strive to achieve the most positive change for the entire residents and community as a whole. Now, for a specific example of a challenge that I faced, when I first took over Key Club last year, we were still dealing with a low turnout rate due to COVID. And I initially wanted to start out with this huge mental wellness campaign, the suicide prevention campaign that I mentioned earlier. However, my advisor was a little hesitant because we did have that low turnout rate. And he advised that we start out with smaller, more involved projects that would support mental wellness. So I took his feedback and we started out with doing some smaller local mental wellness education groups, and then we turned that into a wider mental wellness campaign that we received huge, immense positive feedback on, and eventually turned that into a town-wide campaign. So even though he did have a differing opinion than me, I was able to use his inputs and lead that into a well-informed decision that eventually went on to lead to hundreds of members in being involved in Key Club and positively influencing the thousands of students here at Hightstown High School.
Hi. All right, so my question is, how would you handle public criticism and pressure from interest groups?
I think that it's extremely important to understand that as a board member, we serve the community as a whole and not one specific group. So if elected, I would make sure that I put the needs of the entire community above the interests of one special group. I think people are always going to give their opinions no matter what, whether it's criticism or positive comments. So I think it's important that we take their criticism and use it as constructive feedback and work with the other board members to understand how we can implement those changes and see how we can positively influence the entire body as a whole.
Hi, thank you for being here. What is your vision for education in this community?
So I think that something that Hightstown has done really well is we offer a diverse array of programs, whether it's academics or even extracurriculars. So in terms of education here at Hightstown High School, I would want to continue supporting the diverse programs here at Hightstown. While I was able to take many rigorous classes, these classes include business classes that are offering me perspectives to learn about my own interests, but being involved in other extracurriculars, clubs, and sports has also developed me as a person and allowed me to further explore my interests. So I think in terms of education, I want to promote and foster involvement in not just academics, but also programs outside of the school, so that students are able to express themselves and explore their own interests so that they can become the most developed person when they go and leave Hightstown and go on to be at college and in the future.
What areas do you believe are our district's greatest challenges and strengths?
Sure. So I'll start off with our strengths. I think one of the biggest strengths that our district has is that we embrace diversity. I think diversity is extremely important in today's climate when it comes to being open-minded, understanding the perspectives of others, and making well-informed decisions. I also think that we have a very supportive climate where we offer a multitude of classes and activities and organizations, and I think that this allows students to explore their own interests and find out what they want to do in the future. However, one thing that I would say is a challenge for our district is providing students and faculty with the necessary resources they need. While the district does offer a lot of resources to our students and faculty, I think that providing students with some more support, such as tutoring, one-on-one tutoring before and after school, would further allow for them to expand on their knowledge and work on themselves academically and outside of academics.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, last question. How do you plan to measure the success of your tenure on the Board of Education?
Sure. So I think measuring success can't be measured by just one number. For me, being on the board is an opportunity for me to learn. When I go to college next year, I plan to study politics, so this is a step in getting engaged civically and will teach me what it means to advocate for those that I represent and allow me to actually be involved in the decision-making process when it comes to enacting policies. So being on the board would allow me to learn different aspects of civic engagement, and if I'm able to take away even just one thing, that is a win to me. Moreover, apart from me, if I'm able to influence other students and show them that we as a youth can make change, even if we're still young and even if we're just students, that is also a win to me. I think it's important that students, especially as they transition into adulthood, understand that it's important that we be involved civically, especially when it comes to policies and being engaged in our own district itself.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, thanks so much for coming. I don't know if you heard, but so we have, what do we have, 9 questions? It's the same questions that we asked the other candidate, and we're all going to ask. We're going to go around asking the questions. Thanks.
Hi, I'm assigned question 1. It's a 2-part question. Tell us about yourself and why you are interested in becoming a school board member. And part 2, is there a particular issue that motivates you to serve on the Board of Education?
So I'm Paula Callia. I do know, I think almost everyone here. I have been a resident of East Windsor for 20 years, although you will tell quickly from my accent that I am not from New Jersey and I am from New York. I have 2 children in the district. My son Brandon graduated in 2021 and my daughter Angelina is currently a high school freshman. I am employed at Refresh Mental Health, which is a soon-to-be integrated entity of United Health Group, as the HR operations manager. So day to day, I am dealing with processes, improvements, complaints, lots of headaches. I also, for fun, I teach math over at Mercer Community College as an adjunct professor, taught everything from remedial up until calculus. I am very passionate about math. That's one of my main passions. I have my master's degree in math from NYU. And I think I share with all of you my resume with my background.
Okay, can you tell us what your perception of a school board member's roles and responsibilities are, and how does that role differ from the role of superintendent or other administration?
So as everyone knows, I did run for the school board back in November. I was a close third. So I am well versed in what a school board member can do versus the administration. So school board members are here to enact policy. The administration, Mr. Daniels and his team, are here to run the schools.
Question number 3, how will you manage your time to address the following board commitments? 2 monthly board meetings, committee meetings, time for agenda preparation, and time for professional growth in areas of board governance and K through 12 education.
So, since my son was in kindergarten, I have been reading the board agenda before anything was ever, we were televised or anything. Before every board meeting, I would read the agenda in detail. So it's something I already do. It's part of what I commit to. And I also read all of the minutes. So that would not be any change in my commitment. My kids are also older now, so I have more time to commit to the committee meetings, the professional development, and so forth.
So this, you already answered some of this, but if you want to elaborate. Ooh. Are there aspects of your education or experience that will be especially helpful in preparing you to serve as a member of the school board?
So I am not a teacher by trade, so I don't have that background except for teaching over at Mercer Community College, but that's very, very different than a teacher teaching K through 12. But my background, my professional experience is going to really help. So as an HR operations manager, I can see the details, but I also see the bigger picture, and I make decisions that people do not always like. But I can see what's the bigger benefit. So some of the things that I have done already for the school is with another parent. We provided data and information to Mr. Daniels about the high school ranking and how it was unfair. And I did that even though the ranking system benefited my son because he was ranked very highly. So it benefited him, and it could have also benefited my daughter. But I saw the bigger picture of how unfair that system was to most of the students in the district. I also, and I hope that we never have to use it and that my daughter would never need it, but when I realized that Narcan was not available in all of the schools, it was only in the high school, and with everything that has been going on, you hear about people overdosing. I lobbied Mr. Daniels to have it placed in all of the schools. So my experience of seeing the bigger picture, not just what's in it for me or my children, will really help me as a board member.
Right, this is a two-part question. First part is, how would you, as a board member, work with the superintendent and other board members when there are differing opinions on needed actions? And then can you give an example where you had to make a decision that wasn't well received by your colleagues, friends, neighbors, or family, and how you handled their feedback?
So Mr. James and I already have a relationship. He's always been receptive to me. Even when we disagree, I believe we have mutual respect. And as a board member, that would continue. Just every day at work, I have to interact with people who have different opinions. And how I handle that best is listen. It's not just my way. Everyone has something to offer, and it's listening that helps us achieve something. Today, we had at work a reorganization that was not well received at all. So I had to rally my team together and tell them about it and try to improve the morale and keep it up. So it's just something that I do every day as in my career.
Hello. I have number 6. How would you handle public criticism and pressure from interest groups?
I wouldn't, pressure from interest groups, I have to focus on what's best for the district as whole. I have a very thick skin, and I said that today when I was making the announcement to my team. You can come complain, I can handle it, I do not mind it, but it's not going to change how I'm going to react. I base my decision based on the data and what's best for everyone.
Hi, thank you for being here. What is your vision for education in this community?
So one thing you'll know is that I always come prepared to everything. And I did think of that question today because it's not an easy one, what the vision would be. And I came up with 4 points that I see for the vision for this district. It's inclusivity, excellence, innovation, and collaboration. So inclusivity, that every student feels valued and supported, regardless of their background, abilities, or circumstances. Excellence, provide a high-quality education to all students that is not just academic success, but that provides them for the challenges of the modern world. Everything is changing. Even stuff, the cell phones, it's just different. So we want to provide students not just with an excellent education, but how to be fruitful citizens that do well. Innovation, the district as a hub of innovation and creativity, where students are encouraged to not just get the great grades, but they should be encouraged to think critically, solve problems, and explore their passions. And finally, collaboration. There's one person's viewpoint is not going to make anything. The importance of collaboration and community engagement.
Right, question number 8. What areas do you believe are our district's greatest challenges and strengths? Thank you.
So I think the greatest strength and challenge is both the same thing. So the diversity of this district is a great benefit, a strength. There's different opinions, different people, and so forth. But it's also one of our greatest challenges because we have such diverse needs, and the district is so large, and trying to bring them all together and figuring out the way that's the right thing to do for everyone is the biggest challenge.
Thank you.
Okay. And how do you plan to measure the success of your tenure on the Board of Education?
Well, hopefully, if elected, I will have more than just until the end of December. I am committed to the long term and would run again. So I would view success as if someone was to look back and was able to say what the district as a whole, not what I did, but the district, what we did while I was a tenure on the Board of Ed, and that there were positive things and the changes that came out helped and benefited all students.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you coming. So I just wanted to say to the two candidates, so what we're going to do next is the board is going to go to exec session. We have a couple items that we need to discuss, and we're also going to talk about the interviews. And then when we come out, we will we'll let everyone know what the decision was. Okay, the board is back in session. I just wanted to thank Mr. Bali and Ms. Kalia for expressing interest in becoming a member of the East Windsor Regional School District Board of Education and for representing the district and their community. The board had a very meaningful discussion about the candidates, and both were very impressive, and it was a very difficult decision for the board. With that being said, someone want to nominate? Post the nomination?
Make a motion to nominate Ms. Paula Kalia.
We don't need a second, right, Paul? Poll the board, please.
Ms. Drake?
Yes.
Ms. Lands?
Yes.
Ms. Murphy?
Yes.
Ms. Brijoli?
Yes.
Ms. Patel?
No.
Ms. Salter?
Yes.
Ms. LaRusso?
Yes.
Motion passes.
And Ms. Kalia will be at the next. Will be sworn in at the next.
Yes,
board
I had a
meeting.
conversation with both candidates before the meeting that, we would vote tonight, and then they'll be sworn in at the next board meeting, and I'll contact Ms. Kalia tomorrow and arrange an onboarding session with the superintendent, myself, and you as well.
Great, thank you. Moving on to item 9, old business.
Let me just share, in terms of tonight, we initially had the curriculum committee meeting scheduled. However, with the 6 p.m. start for the Educator of the Year recognition, we decided to pause on that. So typically, we would fast forward that to the March 11th meeting. I'm going to say tonight, tentatively, that's what it will be, but I'm going to follow up. I'll have Sandy follow up in the next few days just to confirm that. So we will be looking at rescheduling the curriculum committee meeting to March 11th or the 25th, primarily because part of the game plan was to use the curriculum committee meeting potentially to connect it to the update regarding student achievement. So I think we're going to look to try to coordinate that, whatever that March date is. So stay tuned, curriculum committee members. Okay.
So wellness is also on March 11th.
I know, so we're going to have to bump. We're going to have to bump something. So just stay tuned on that in terms of where we are. But the curriculum committee will definitely take place in March. It will either be on March 11th or March 25th.
And then you'd have to bump policy.
It's going to create a little bit of a bump, but
okay.
We want to make sure we capture March.
Other old business is the equity audit.
I think this was put on here as a placeholder. So obviously the equity audit has been complete. We're in the process of organizing a district equity team meeting. The equity audit presentation has been presented at each of our schools. Actually, we have a central office PD day coming up as well, where the presentation will be offered again. But the next locked step for us is a meeting with our district equity team. Historically, that's been only comprised of administrators. We do have teacher representation, and that meeting is scheduled for, I think, within the next couple of weeks.
Anyone have any questions? If not, item 10, second opportunity for board member comments. Are there any board members who wish to make a comment?
Yeah, Mark, I just had a question. Strategic planning tomorrow is here, you said. Will these back doors be unlocked so people can park behind, or do we have to enter through the front?
Good question. I would actually encourage people to use these doors tomorrow. Maybe we'll have a communication tomorrow, just kind of reminding folks of that. All right.
My comment is actually in regards to, I think can you elaborate, Mark, on who decides what courses count and don't count in the program of studies? Because I've had a discussion with Ms. Small about the AP Science courses while the high school students were scheduling recently, and I was reading the program of studies, I noticed that all of a sudden the AP courses aren't counting towards a graduation requirement. It was my understanding that they always were, but there seems to be a little bit miscommunication with that. But now it's in print. So how does that, who decides what course counts? Because I'm really concerned that all of a sudden this AP courses in science are not counting to the graduation requirement for the core sciences. And then I think we need, if Ms. Small does want that changed, we discussed that has to be a rewritten policy, because it does fulfill the last bullet of the science requirement in the graduation requirement policy.
So, I'm not quite sure what your question is.
My first question is
none of us do things in isolation here. So part of
the first question is, it's kind of like, how do
we make that determination?
Of what course satisfies a graduation requirement in the program of studies guide?
Yeah, so there's a couple things, right? So obviously from a state standpoint, there's high school graduation requirements that designate that courses should be tagged based on specific areas. That's kind of as a floor. You know, school districts can go beyond that in terms of what they believe that they would expect from students in terms of that pathway. You know, years ago in this district, I'm not quite sure how far back, but at some point there was an agreement. Policy does not reflect it though, but it was a practice that students were guided towards more of a balanced science experience to try to limit, you know, consecutive years under the same umbrella in terms of science content. Right.
I totally understand that. They explained that to me, and I understand that's the best practice, but what I guess I'm saying is I feel like that needs to be written because it led to a different interpretation.
I completely agree. I mean, if there's something that we're going to expect or something that we're going to articulate to students and families in terms of a practice, you know, there should be some reference point, whether it's policy. Policy is the easiest place for it to live. Program of studies is obviously another one, but I think it strengthens it if what's in the program of studies is almost regurgitated in the policy. So so that's the first answer to the question. In terms of the AP coursework, you know, some AP coursework has been tagged to electives, and that's what created the, you know, at one point it wasn't articulated in terms of an AP course and being explicit regarding where it fits in terms of contributing towards a graduation requirement and making sure that it's explicitly known that it's deemed as an elective. But there's also some interpretation on that. I'm going to be quite frank with you. I mean, you know, districts have kind of moved to some degree, because when you talk about AP coursework, we're talking about college level coursework. So there's also a change in the landscape in terms of how schools are interpreting how they want those things to be counted as well. So I think it's something for us as a district to kind of review and explore and make a determination regarding what we think is, one, obviously in line with high school graduation requirements, and then if we're going above and beyond, or we have an interpretation as a district that we think philosophically is in the best interest of students, then we need to make a determination, we as a board, as it relates to what we think that policy language should reflect.
I think one of my biggest concerns was just thinking of how some APs do count as the requirement, but it seems now that it was just the science that are considered. Well, I don't even like using the term elective, because there are electives that actually do fulfill requirements that aren't counting. And I feel like AP Calc counts, there's AP Push counts, and I'm concerned the kids that are science tracked kind of it almost puts them at a disadvantage. So I mean, we don't have to have that discussion now, but I just feel like that came up when I was reading the program of studies with my kids. So I thought maybe that would be a discussion that.
Yeah, and I think we're going to look into use the curriculum committee meeting as a part of that as well. Okay. Ms. Small, is there something you want to add? You got to come up to the microphone, Ms. Small. Right. It was. That's really where we are.
Can I interject for a second? This is very new to me right now. So you're telling me, just like just an average Joe, just explain to me, if my daughter goes in a science track and she qualifies for let's see, what science courses you're saying it's not counting toward graduation? Let's start with that first.
Well, according to the
science?
new program of studies, it said AP Chem, AP Bio, AP Psych, Physics, and AP Environmental Science. Those four
will not count towards graduation.
Towards the graduation requirement.
Is that what? Okay. So if
For
yeah,
science.
I understand. So if I have a daughter who's in a science major and wants to go to that track, and she wants to take all these AP courses, now this is going to count as an elective. Is that what you mean? Possibly. Now.
Count towards graduation, but it may not count as a science course requirement.
So I guess we need to determine who makes that decision on behalf of the district, because we do have qualified students who would be able to participate at this level courses.
Well, this is something that we were going to discuss, right, with the curriculum committee?
Sorry, I just didn't know.
And then
which
I just wanted
courses.
to also say, I just want to ask, all the guidance counselors know what's happening and are aware of what the requirements are for every grade. And they're relaying this information to parents and students when they're having their meetings with the students, correct?
Here's what I'm going to tell you. I think
they should be. The counselors are aware.
They should be, but I think that there was, once again, if we're going to have a practice, it needs to be something that we refer to in writing as a practice that's undergirded by something that we can refer to. So therefore, it's not an opinion. It's not something that someone told someone. It's something that's clearly understood. So it appears that there was some inconsistency in terms of messaging, and that's something that we need to make sure that we are clear upon. All right?
Okay, thank you, because my daughter's going to be coming in 8th grade and will be going through this process. So I would like to know and be informed by the counselor, like you said, for what is happening in its course selection.
Yeah, so
it should be a practice that we follow that adheres to our policy that what we are practicing.
So like I said, right now, the policy that I think the board approved in March 23, in terms of graduation requirements, that's kind of, if you were just to look at that, there would be an interpretation regarding what that pathway may be in terms of science courses. I'm just talking science courses currently. So, like I said, there appears to have been a practice in the district that was based upon creating a balanced science experience for students. And I think it's a healthy opportunity to talk about, where we're going as it relates to that, because it's nothing that the state is, like what I'm talking about right now, a balanced science requirement or a balanced science experience. That's a philosophical approach, and it's not something that the state is requiring of us. So I think when we're asking the question, who's making the decision, I think, obviously, as I said before, the decisions we're making on behalf of students are collective decisions. And if that's something that, that's something that has lived in the district, talking with Sandy, it's one of those things where, we'll use the curriculum committee as a venue to say, here are some of the pieces we've done historically that may not exactly replicate what the state is asking of school districts, and to engage the board in a discussion regarding where we'd like to go. Is this something that, here's why we're doing it, and we can have a discussion regarding the benefits or the pitfalls of that. But whatever we're going to do, we do need to have consistency in terms of how we implement that. So that's the answer for tonight. So to be continued.
Could I just say one other thing, because I'm not on the curriculum committee,
But
is
it's
that...
going to share out, though. They're going to share
right,
out the
just after talking to Ms. Small, I totally appreciated and understood the best practice to follow through the different content areas. So I guess that also almost needs to be separated from will AP courses, because you can still do bio, physics, you could
Right.
still do the correct sequence, but why couldn't the AP courses count as long as you have the best practice?
That's part of the conversation
Okay,
as well.
that was my only.
Can we just confirm too that there's consistent messaging amongst all of the guidance counselors in the high school? I know especially the junior class, and everybody's meeting to do the schedule, so is there consistent messaging amongst that group?
Yes.
Okay.
There should be.
Thank you.
Are there any other board member comment? Any other board members wish to make a comment? If there's none, second opportunity for public comment. Is there anyone from the public who wishes to make a comment? There being none, let's move on to item 11.
Motion to approve routine items by exception. Having read the materials received, I move that the board approve the routine agenda items as submitted. A, staffing for February 26, 2024. B, job description updates. C, HIV report from February 5th, 2024. D, approve travel and related expenses, virtual and in person. E, approve new field trip sites for upcoming trips. F, approve donation to Walter C. Black from Crayola. G, accept furniture donation to Melvin H. Krebs. I'm sorry, I scrolled too far. H, approve Hightstown High School and Melvin H. Krebs spring sports schedule spring of 2024. I, approval of Hightstown High School class of 2024 senior trip, the dinner and dance cruise in May of 2024. J, technology recycling batch number 44. K, professional services for students. L, transportation, UCESC. M, transportation bids. N, transportation jointure. O, professional service contracts. P, approve use of competitive bid process. Q, board minutes for February 5th, 2024. R, report of the board secretary and financial report for November and December 2023. S, expense and transfer reports of school monies report for November and December 2023. And T, bill list of February 26, 2024.
Does
Second.
anyone have any questions?
I do have just one question, and it might be silly, but the senior cruise, if something were to happen, is it just, I mean, that's what says, but you know, I have mom brain, right? If something were to happen, does that mean that there's enough life jackets and all of that for the students and like the teachers to save everybody? You know what I mean?
I don't think there's enough for the superintendent. There's not enough for the superintendent, I'll tell you that much. But you know what? Yes. I appreciate your pessimism there, Jean. But you know what though? In all seriousness though, and anytime we take children on water, you know that is and staff as well. That is a thing to consider. But
sorry, and thank you.
Nicole, I have a question. On B, the job description updates, I'm assuming because it's updates, it's not a new, these are not new positions, correct?
they're not new. These are not new job descriptions. They're just updates in terms of language and consistency regarding some qualifications and layout.
And that's not something that's negotiated?
No.
Okay.
No. This is all board decisions. These are periodically we review. There's going to be some other job descriptions you're going to see on here as well, where we review the language. So one of the things we've been doing is actually an equity review regarding some of the language that may be contained. But this was more so just a cleanup as it relates to alignment related to qualifications and some expectations. So nothing that would veer from any negotiated expectations regarding terms. And the board always has the opportunity to determine what job descriptions entail. And we're not looking to put anything for approval that would veer from established expectations related to someone's role.
Are there any other questions?
No questions. I just want to make a comment on R and S and commend the board office for playing catch up on our financials. So we appreciate that hard work. I know we've been shorthanded. So.
If there's no other questions or comments, poll the board, please.
Ms. Drake?
Yes.
Ms. Lands?
Yes, abstain on A, just the line items that have my name on there. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, not A. D. Oh, my goodness. Okay, it's been a long night for everybody, huh? D, with my abstain D for my name.
Thank you. Ms. Murphy?
Yes, abstain from D.
Ms. Brijoli?
Yes.
Ms. Patel?
Yes.
Ms. Salter?
Yes.
Ms. LaRusso?
Yes. We don't need a second executive session, so motion to adjourn. Have a good night.